Welcome to Forex Investors Alliance. My name is Dylan. Today's topic, we will be going over the trading sessions within Forex and basically when exactly to trade. So everybody should know by now that there are three different sessions. Three different main sessions. Obviously, there are more. There's the Australian session and a few different ones. But there's three main sessions that everybody talks about. And that's the Asian session, London session, and New York session. Now, specifically today, I want to focus on these three sessions and why people are coming to me and saying, Dylan, I just can't seem to get in a trade at the right time. Because take for example, here we have GBP USD. This 100 pip move happened in 4 hours. If you weren't paying attention within an hour of that move happening, you would have missed most of that move. So that's why timing is so very important. Also, people come to me and ask, why is it that I'll get in a trade, I'll get up, I'll analyze the market, and I'll get in a trade, and then I'll wait and wait and wait for 10, 12 hours before it finally moves. Why is it that I have to wait that long? Or why is it that I wait so long that I just can't take it anymore and I stop myself out? That's mostly because you've been taught to trade at any time. All right. Consolidation happens in the market mostly during Asian session. An Asian session is mostly when it is daytime in the United States. So most of my clients are in the US, but even the ones that are outside of the US still trade Asian session at times and they get caught up in it. But the one reason that Asian session affects people in the US so much is because they look to trade in the daytime. For example, if they have a day job, they go to work, and then after work they come home and it's the beginning of Asian session and the market is in complete consolidation until they go to bed. So it's in complete consolidation through Asian session all the way until London session, until they finally pass out or go to sleep, and then the market swings and they really have no time to react because they're sleeping. So either their stop loss gets hit or their take profit gets hit if they were lucky trading in the right direction and they had to take profit. And we know that is quite a lot of circumstances for the average retail trader to take account in. So the macro, we're going to be going over basically the micro sessions and then the macro sessions. So the macro sessions being each day. And we're going to be going over the characteristics of the days and what you can expect, what you can possibly expect when for each of these days for a weekly play out. So let's start off with the macro, and then we'll work into the micro, because the micro is obviously inside the macro. Now, we all know the market has starts on Sunday and then goes through Friday, right? So the market will start in the middle of Sunday and it will consolidate, Asian session, and then it will swing in one direction and then consolidate until New York session. And then session changeover will begin and it will continue to consolidate into Monday. Then come Monday London session, after Asian session consolidation, we have the London session breakout to the high, and then New York session. Actually, all right, this could be a lot easier to explain within the macro. So disregard what I just said. Sunday, we have the trap that comes down and then consolidates into Monday. Monday, Tuesday, and then come Wednesday, we have a peak Wednesday. All right, so we have consolidation Sunday, and then a trap Sunday coming into Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we have a rise of 3 days or 4 days. 3 to 4 days of rise, and then we have a peak come Wednesday, and then the market will work off of that peak. And as we know, Wednesday, and Thursday have the most high impact news events for all the pairs. All right, so obviously Wednesday and Thursday midweek is going to be the most volatile time. So the market uses this to its advantage to swing and spike the high and then come down into Thursday and Friday. It closes and spikes up with a trap. So Wednesday into Thursday, we have the news event that causes this crazy consolidation and working of the high, the spike of the high, the stop hunt high, and all of this can be inverted as well. So this, what I'm talking about, I can, you can invert it and say the low as well. So you can say Sunday, come Monday, they worked the high a bit and then dropped for 3 days. Wednesday, they worked the low. All right, you get it. It's just a mirror. All right, it can be inverse as well. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they peak the high, and then Wednesday into Thursday, there's the consolidation and the volatility, the stop hunt high or stop hunt low to take out and induce retail traders to continue in the direction that it was going the past 3 days, when really it's going to reverse upon that volatility happening for the news event. So the news causes the volatility, spike up, and then drop Thursday, and then Friday we have consolidation, and then sometimes on Friday there will be a spike up. Why is that? Because price closed here, price opened on Sunday at, where did it open? It opened at 1.3165 in this example, all right? A lot of times the dealer will spike back up to that area in which he opened the market at. So that same price range, so that it looks like in their books that run on a weekly basis, that is updated on a weekly basis, it looks like there was no net change in the overall market. So if that makes any sense, which it should, then this whole scheme right here, this whole playbook should obviously make you a lot of money once you start to comprehend it. Now, let's go into the micro Forex trading sessions. When to trade. Do we trade Asian session? I do not suggest trading Asian session if you do not know what you're doing. So if you actually, first of all, if you're using TradingView, let's right click, and show the session breaks. So this will show every time Asian session changeover is occurring. Every blue dotted line shows Asian session changeover. And here you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Asian session consists of basically complete consolidation most of the time. Not all of the time, but you can see how much price just stays in consolidation, and then look at that. Uses just that 4-hour time, just that small 4-hour window to move, and then it consolidates, stays and consolidates in that zone. Consolidation. So these are all at session changeover, guys. You can see I'm drawing them all at that blue dotted line here. It's all happening right there. So that is Asian session changeover. Now I'm not going to go in depth with the sessions, so I'm not going to tell you guys which time they are, because obviously we're all in different time zones. So what I recommend is going onto Google, type in Forex session times, and find your time zone and when the Asian session starts, when London session starts, and when New York session starts. Write all these down, okay, and the timings, and then if it's possible, sleep Asian session, wake up right before London session, and then trade London session and New York session. That is what I have been doing for the past year, and it's absolutely great. I love it. It was hard at first, to acclimate, because I am living in the United States right now. It is hard to acclimate being awake when everybody else is sleeping, but it's definitely worth it. It's well worth it. So, like I said, I'm not going to go in depth with the session timings, but I will show you guys the window in which the opportunity occurs. So the blue boxes mark the consolidation, right? You can see all these blue boxes here I have drawn out. They all represent consolidation. Now, this box that I'm about to draw represents London or New York session, or both. It could be both of them combined. So notice how the range is in the blue boxes compared to the red boxes. So the blue boxes is what most retail traders trade, and what's in the red boxes now is what I'm going to teach you guys to trade. These movements, these whipsaws, the fluctuation, okay? We're not trading this crap here, okay? This tiny range, we're not scalping this for 10, 15, 20 pips. We want the breakout of consolidation, out of Asian session consolidation to the low W London session. We buy right there. Perfect buy. Off of the low of the day. Some of you guys may not understand this yet. If not, that is all right. Go into our some of our previous videos and you'll understand if you just obviously start watching more of our content. But today's video is basically how to when to trade. Okay, I'm showing you guys the red boxes. You trade the red boxes. How though? How do you trade the red boxes? It's not just as easy as just saying trade the red boxes, obviously. Okay, so knowing that Asian session lasts for about 8 to 10 hours. So this is about an 8 to 10 hour span right here after this session changeover. It will consolidate for 8 to 10 hours before the session changeover as well. Okay? So 8 to 10 hours of consolidation. Let's see if that is correct. Exactly 10 hours before our red box. Exactly. And then right at our red box, we can see, well, what do you notice? You notice session changeover happens. This is the new day. And then price, what happens? It widens. It starts widening the highs and the lows, making larger highs and lows. This is why the wedge occurs. You know, that wedge formation that we trade, our signature trade, that's why it occurs. So it's working the highs and at the same time working the lows, creating that inverse wedge. And then what do you see here? This somewhat of a W formation, second leg breakout to the low that was created here, second leg railroad track breakout, and then boom, in 3 candles, if you bought down here, you were up over 50 pips. So let's say you didn't buy that, you waited a bit, they gave you a second opportunity to sell. Excuse me, to buy. Okay, we have the low, the new low that was created, and then we have the second leg W that spiked, stop hunted below that low. And notice how this is all inside this red box, you guys. Trade inside the red box. Trade the highs and the lows inside the red box. We could have also taken this large green candle here. This is obviously not only a shift out of the zone here, a shift, but a stop hunt to the high of the day, right? This is the high of the day, and this is the stop hunt. Obviously, the newly created high right here, we could have sold this as a stop hunt back down to the low of the day. Okay. Let's try to understand the sessions in here now. In this red box contains mostly London and New York session, okay? So outside of the red box, what is this? Before, 8 hours before session changeover, this part here, this is the ending of New York session. I don't usually trade that because normally the market starts to consolidate like we see. They start to consolidate to begin to prepare for the next day and to consolidate to connect the next day's consolidation with the previous day. So trade inside the red box with the highs and the lows. Now, Asian session lasted, I believe it lasts 8 or 10 hours, maybe a bit more. I can visually see it on my chart. What I do is graph the consolidation area, and when I see an obvious breakout to the low or the high, I do the exact opposite of the breakout. So, for example, here, if I was just trading this and I had, graphed out this consolidation, I see a break to the low, small W formation. You could have bought that at that break to the high, bought it back up to the high, and then sold it at the high again, back to the low, and then bought it back up to the high once again, and then sold it back to the low and bought it back up to the high. All of this occurs in that window, or right before that window. So the next day, we can see the consolidation here, and then the shift happened right before London session. So the shift of the zone, the Asian session lasted a little less time, so they didn't consolidate as long in this range. They actually shifted the zone up and consolidated up here, but what we can see is they made the high and then came off of the high coming into London session, and London session they worked the high, that second leg M to the high, that's where we sell at the high of the day in our red zone. And look at that, gave us one more opportunity to sell again if we wanted to, and then all the way back down to create the low of the day, and then comes back up. Okay, another thing that I wanted to basically explain to you guys was we have the Asian session. We have the Asian session windows, and then we have that London and New York session window that I'm talking about. But what we also have is spike to the high, and then price moves London session. This entire move happens London session. And then finally London session stops or comes to an end, and then New York session starts. What happens New York session? They come off of the low of the day and then work a bit and then come into consolidation into Asian session. So this is one big whipsaw pattern, and we explain in depth 100 times better and 100 times more in depth exactly what this structure does emotionally to a human being, and what it does exactly within the market itself, what it's doing in the charts. So if you'd like to know how you can understand this exact pattern, check out forexiapro.com. That is our educational platform, and we have our educational course that basically explains everything I teach, and everything I've been teaching for the past 2 years is all in there. Tons of videos packed in. So go check that out if you are really eager to learn. There's a lot of valuable information. So we can see that I'm not lying to you guys. This does actually happen, right? You can see it in the charts. Now, it's not as beautiful as we'd like. It's not perfect every day, but Asian session consolidation works the high, come London session, spike the high, and then London session drop. New York session reverse off of the low that London session made, and then come back up into consolidation and do the same thing over again. But this time comes spikes to the low, London open, and then London session comes up, and then New York session works the high a bit and then comes off and then finishes off in consolidation. So now that I have given you guys the key and open your eyes a little bit, hopefully you guys can destroy these markets, obviously, because what we are given to learn from, what we are given to use, we know is absolute garbage. Or at least you should know this by now. The market does not respond to indicators, does not care about your indicator, it does not care about your average, does not care about your moving average, does not care about your trend line, does not respect these instruments. So with that being said, hopefully you guys understood the basic concepts of this lesson. Basically, Asian session, consolidation, London session, New York session is when you want to catch the moves. So, thank you guys once again for tuning in. My name is Dylan. If you like this video, you learned something new, press the subscribe button, like, comment. Peace out.